Loving and creator God, let my words speak your words. Let the meditations of our hearts this day be acceptable to you. Amen. Sometime in the night, a ship, the Marquette Bessemer No. 2, was lost. And 32 lives were ended that night. They were called into God's haven. Now, as was stated, we don't know exactly what happened, but we know it was a tragedy. And we're gathered here to commemorate, which, by the way, means, that word means to honor or to keep alive the memory of. But exactly what are we commemorating? What exactly are we commemorating? What are we keeping alive or honoring here today? Is it the fact that a ship went down? Well, in the history of Lake Erie, I know that many, many ships and boats have gone down to the bottom, and many lives have been lost to its waves. Are we then honoring the men who went down, or as stated, are we looking at the steamer M&B No. 2 that was lost to the waves in that cold December night 100 years ago? Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are. By commemorating one, we commemorate, by extension, all who have lost their lives. Every ship, every life that was lost on Lake Erie. But why this ship? Was it particularly special in some way? Was it perhaps the largest that ever sailed Lake Erie? Was it the newest? Was it the oldest? What makes this particular ship so special? And what about the men that were aboard that ship? Were they famous people? Were they rich? Were they soldiers perhaps going off to battle or to defend our country? Were they poor? Were they so special that we should commemorate them? Yes and no. The ship was a railcar ferry, 350 or 80 feet long, carrying a cargo of 30 rail cars loaded with coal and steel. Those are facts. And this particular ship had done this run a number of times before. Nothing unusual or special about this workaday ship. Just a regular work routine job. Nothing extraordinary about it. And the men, I guess they were regular guys. We don't know them. We've never met them. So, without trying to sound too callous, why should we care? Now, sure, the loss of life, of any life, is tragic, especially when it comes in such a horrific manner. But cruelly, it happens every day somewhere in the world. So why should we commemorate? We commemorate, and we honor, and we keep alive the memories of these men and this ship. Not because it was so very, very special, it was the biggest or the largest, or they were rich or they were poor. They were ordinary working class Joes doing a working class job. And that ship was built by others. And the very fact that it was built and built for a specific purpose provided jobs for the men and their families who built that ship. Families were housed and fed. Children were raised and taught and grew in their communities, and their communities were enriched because the M&B No. 2 was built and worked. And the job that it did provided others in the United States and in Canada was a regular job for other families and other children and other communities. The loss of a ship, the loss of this ship, was a loss for communities and working people. And that is but one reason to commemorate this event to pay homage to all of those families that were affected by the loss of this ship that they built with their hands. Now, statistics tell us that 31 people plus a passenger perished. Their names are known, but their stories are untold. Were they special people? Yes. They were special people because they are us. Sitting here today, 100 years later, you are they and they are us. They were fathers and brothers, husbands and relatives and friends. They are us, and by honoring them, we keep their lives alive for all who go down to the sea in ships.